Hello, everyone. One person. I'm cooking right now, as I once have. We're doing chicken. I'm back. No, not really. Really, the thing I struggle the most with, like the absolute most struggling thing about uploading, is editing everything. Hello. Hi. The triggers here. There's no mic attached to any of this. We're truly just raw dogging this. But yeah, I'm a lot more active, by the way, on my second channel, Taco Ket. So honestly, you guys should just subscribe to that. It's not ASMR, which I know is what most of you are here for. But I've just been gaming and stuff. Gaming. I've been replaying Danganronpa because I'm trying to get some retrospective content done. Um, before the 2x2 comes out, which is the remake of the second game, which is my favorite game. And I'm just so excited. Do you know how fun it is to be a fan of a franchise, and then the one installment of that franchise that's your favorite, and it's also the developer's favorite, so you just get more and more content from that installment. It's such a good feeling, like it just feels super good. I'm just so happy about that. Although I do have to accept that with this new scenario, my favorite character will die. Will more than likely die. I'm just hoping, he's got some plot armor for us, because would it make sense to kill him? And every motive that I can think of for him to either be a victim or be a blackened doesn't make too much sense because it's so predictable. It's predictable. And I don't like that. I don't like predictability in things like this. I want to truly be shocked and truly be surprised. I am someone who I'll say, oh, I don't mind spoilers, but that's because I already endured the spoiler of whatever I'm into. Like, for example, when I got into Chainsaw Man, um, I had that spoiled. And that's fair because Chainsaw Man has been out since 2020, 2021. I had time to look at it. Now, if I wanted to get into Chainsaw Man, um, right now, like as it is, like if I make the conscious decision, okay, I'm gonna get into Chainsaw Man, I cannot be mad about any spoilers for things I haven't caught up on. And I'm caught up now. I kind of want to talk about that now. I don't hate the ending of Chainsaw Man. I don't hate it. And I feel like if we really understood Fujimoto in the way that we do, you should understand that that's just how he is. That is how he operates. Now, that doesn't mean you're not allowed to dislike it, but I just find it very odd to see people say it doesn't make any sense if you know how that man operates based on the things he said in interviews. it's it's not a ridiculous ending, and I liked it. I don't care. I liked it. I do not care. I don't. I'm happy about the way that things, not happy. It is bittersweet, and it did. I agree. The ending of, can I talk about this? There's like one person here. Do you have any interest in Chainsaw Man or anything? Because I am going to be talking spoilers. I don't like to spoil things for people. I don't like that. That seems like something like that's like a dick move in my opinion. Um, but I liked the ending. Like, yo, shit, it's your stream. You know what? True. See, but I have multiple things I could talk about. Oh my god, they stole my idea. By the way, they stole my idea. I am the one. Okay, I don't think I was the first to draw comparisons between the two figures, but I feel like I was one of the pioneers for the idea that Natalie Nunn is Makima in real life. Like that woman is Makima, but for real. Like, and I don't want anyone else to say it because I've already said it. Scotland Ryland is Denji. And no one is going to take that shit away from me. I'm the one who. But yeah, I liked the ending. I mean, y'all got power back. The fuck, like, why are we upset? Why are we upset? I feel like a lot of y'all are upset that it just didn't have like this very negative and bleak ending. Though granted, it kind of does feel a bit bleak because a lot of it was just for nothing at all. But no, you guys are too pessimistic about this. I feel like a lot of people are being very pessimistic about the end of Chainsaw Man, which again, didn't hate at all. And no one is going to convince me to hate it. Nothing. Nobody. And a lot of people say that Asa was sidelined. I have to wonder if we've legitimately read the manga that we're talking about. Like, did you read it? I get it. She doesn't really play a part anymore, considering the fact that her and Denji at this point have just never met. Have you considered that might have been for the best? You can go off and make your post canon that they get together or whatever. I don't give a fuck. But think about it like this. That girl was willing to kill herself for Denji and for humanity. I don't think this was a good path for her. And quite frankly, I find it a bit beautiful that there was this ability for, everything to go back and for things to be okay. Because in my mind, isn't that all we want, really? Isn't that just something that people desire to be able to do? Yeah, it takes away from, you experiencing and you learning. But have you considered that some people are just not better at learning from experiences than others? I'm sorry. I did not. I was not a fan of everything that Asa and Denji went through. I think it was for the best to get a reset. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. But, of course, I will say though, as much as I did like the ending, it was mid. It wasn't anything revolutionary, but I liked it, but because it wasn't anything revolutionary or anything like, wow, it's mid. But I don't hate it and I actually like it. I'm sorry, I don't know. There are things that can be mid that you can still like, Yeah. So that's kind of where I stand on the topic of Chainsaw Man. I have my hands just full of seasoning, so dirty. So I keep washing them. But yeah, very much a good story. And now I'm excited for whatever else Fujimoto. Oh, thank you for the 99 cents. Truly appreciate it, truly. But I'm so excited for whatever Fujimoto comes out with. Apparently that man watched I think the movie's called I Saw the TV Glow, and I've only heard very intense things about that movie. So all I can assume is we're in for a real treat come the next story that Fujimoto decides to tell. I think that man just needs to not get any more ideas. I think it's for the better. I think it's for the best in terms of society. Yeah. I need to go throw this away, but I'm giving light triggers with trash. Triggers with trash. Now, have to butter the chicken. By buttering the chicken, you just put little, the way that I do it is the butter's gonna melt anyway, so you just put like little, like almost like cubes of butter onto the chicken on that once it has the seasoning, and it'll just melt. You know, I also don't like to use too much butter on things, except when I'm cooking for people, because well, I don't prefer to use much butter or much oil or anything, um, for health reasons, you know, because I am still somewhat mindful of what I put in my body. Um, a lot of other people don't seem to appreciate that much. And a lot of people are like, no, if you're going to cook food, do it to where it tastes good. You know what I mean? So things like mashed potatoes, things like that. When I'm cooking for other people, I have to accommodate and actually make it to where it tastes really good and it's not like health slop. So yeah. Um, with the chicken though, I just put like a small thing on top of it and it'll melt and the rest of the heat will do the rest of the work. Okay. Hard part's done. And yeah, it's just I something I like to do. Oh, fuck, we don't have any more plastic spoons and such. So I'm gonna use this and I'm just gonna like grab little bits of like butter and just like plop that onto the top of the chicken. A lot of something I do want to address, by the way, is I am very self aware of my lack of activity when it comes to uploading here. And part of me is sorry about that, but another part of me is there is a reason why. Not only am I busy and things like that with trying to do my school and, you know, transferring and all that, which should be figured out, but they're fucking with me at this school. They are fucking with me. I do everything that I'm supposed to do, and they still decide to play with me. I'm not a fan of that. I'm not a fan. But another thing is one, I don't know what the algorithm wants to see anymore. Fed up wife can only do so much. Bitch has already got that marriage annulled, so there's not much I can do with her. I think back on this one video I made on Donald Trump and Elon Musk, and it was like a FaceTime kind of call. It was a Zoom call on like a news broadcast that did horrible. And I put so much effort into that video and I made that video last year, I'm pretty sure. So, you know, that kind of to this day is discouraging. It's like, if I make something that high effort, will it even, you know, will it have any motion? Probably not. Um, Another thing is I like to make content based off of real things, but and maybe I'm being a little liberal snowflake, we don't know. But lately, a lot of the things that have been happening that I feel like I would have to be, and no shade to people who are doing this, you know, get your coin. I would have to be myself just a bit more depraved to come up with something funny about it because everything that has happened lately that one would think, oh, this is a Clarissa's Corner content farm here, feels so bleak and unfunny. I don't want to touch a lot of these things. It doesn't feel right to sit in front of a camera and kind of joke about it. And I get that joking will help people cope. That's just not the job for me to do. That's not for me to do. I don't think a lot of things are taboo, but I personally don't know how to make, not light of it, but make it into something different, you know, that and ultimately that things that are at the expense of other people would be, you know, profiting me, and that doesn't feel right. And I'm not moral policing. This is just me. So, you know, thinking of just small cosplay things. How am I feeling at the moment? I'm good. I'm cooking. And yeah, cooking. This needs more seasoning, or else, you know. I need to do better with keeping up with my health. So I have chicken here. I have answered that, I fear. So an hour at 400. Going to my desk now, going to the room. Let me actually just put things away because I'm not that sloppy. Just quietly putting things back to where they're supposed to be. Yeah. And I have told you that I am feeling all right. Nothing is wrong. Pepe, ¿te puedes salir, por favor? You can go over there. Come on. Go. Go with your mom. Go with your mom. Because then you start meowing and it kills the vibe of the video. It's okay, don't worry. Anyway, oh shit, did I just like leave my ring light on the whole night? The whole night I left my ring light on. That's not good. So it's no bueno. Okay. Anyway, I'm back. My cat wants to say hi to you guys. Say hi, Peppy. Anyway, what to do now? What to do now? I could talk more about different things, you know. But yeah. How fucking rude. I swear. And I think I do have a problem and I'm working on that. I'm someone who has faced adversity, don't get me wrong, but I also have to kind of learn that with that adversity, you know, you didn't die. So time goes on. And since time went on, I don't think you should really hold on to that stuff. And when even anything else happens, maybe things just happen and it's not, it could be a coincidence, or it could just be because you did something to cause that, not things are happening to me. And I need to get out of that mindset that things just happen to me, because that's so consuming and it's not fun to live like that. Now I have to wonder, did I take my vitamin? Because I have a vitamin D deficiency and I need it. It's a weekly dosage. Hi. Come here. Come here. My cat, she wants to bother me. But she won't sit on my lap, and it makes everything way more not convenient. But anyway, the reason I brought that up is because I was about to say, every time I record, coincidentally, you know, trying to fix my mindset on this a bit, the loudest cars ever pass by my window. Oh, hi, baby. Hi, little baby. I'm a size 2. I'm a size 2 foot. That's clearly a size 2. I feel like I have been open about my shoe size and things like that on my Depop, which I'm deactivating because I'm not paying for a PO box for bitches not to even buy shit. Okay. And what pisses me off is I closed my PO box because that was just an expense just for me not to make money. But I need money. See, the thing about YouTube and things like that is, yeah, I initially didn't do it for money at all, but it would be nice, you know, and that's why I haven't really locked in because a lot of my content doesn't do well. I just don't know what people want to see. I make what I would want to see, but then I have to remember, Pepino, please do not step on the PlayStation. Do not step on the do not step on the PlayStation. Step literally anywhere else. But I don't know that what I want to see or what I want to make is what other people want to see. And that's fine. I could just get a real job like another person. And I am going to do that. I am going to either be working at a restaurant or working with children, which is going to be a challenge, but I got it. I mean, I've watched children before. Of course, those are children that I'm related to, but eventually you're just going to have to get a job. You know, it's about time. It is about time. I lied to you about my shoe size. I'm not saying my shoe size on here because I feel like I had it on my Depop and it gets repetitive. But even that shoe size that you put there is wrong. I have a huge foot. Yeah, a huge foot. It doesn't help when people believe that I'm already pretty man looking as it is, mannish, pretty masculine looking. It doesn't help the fact that my foot is huge. And it's not even like I don't understand a foot fetish. And Southern accent vids, that one did do pretty good. Fuck, on the Pearl one, I should have added Southern accent in the title. Because I have a Pearl ASMR where she's cleaning someone up after murdering them for dinner. Like, if you watch the movie Pearl, in the end, she sets up her parents' corpses like she's having dinner with them. And, you know, she's got a Southern accent, and that's what I did. So go check that out if you really liked it. But yeah, I gotta lock in on the accents and stuff like that. I've been doing a lot of more, well, not lately because, oh, did I tell you guys? I lost my voice. Like, I've gotten sick before, but my voice was still there. My voice was still intact. Not last week, I believe a week or two ago. A men's shoe size 10.5 in men. My foot ain't that big. Never mind. That's not my struggle then. But for a woman, I do have a pretty big foot. But I lost my voice, completely shocked. It was bad. I would be talking and my voice again, I sounded sick, and that wasn't the worst part. So my voice has gotten rasp, but my voice has never actually gotten tired to the point where if I talk for max 5 seconds, my voice cuts off. And that's what would happen. I'd be talking, and then it would just go, it would just. And I started to do voice acting, things like that, trying to dip my toes into several forms of acting. And so I know she's gonna start meowing at the door for me to open it. I'm gonna go do that. Do you want me to open the door for you? Bye-bye. Have fun. Anyway, so yeah, my voice was gone, and I had at that point joined a group of voice actors. I'm in 2 little groups of voice actors, one for a Jujutsu Kaisen dub, and then another one for a Chainsaw Man dub. For the Jujutsu Kaisen one, I play Mei or Mei Mei, And for the Chainsaw Man one, I typically voice Fumiko, which is so fun, by the way. I felt very weird about Fumiko as a character. Part of her just kind of grew on to me. She did weird shit, like leave Denji alone for fuck's sake. But then there's different variants of her, which by the way now doesn't even make sense. But even regardless, I still like the ending. I still like the ending. But yeah, voicing her is really fun. She's funny to voice. But yeah, at the time I had to do something for the Jujutsu Kaisen little fan dub thingy that we got going on. It's like little skits. Um and I needed the lines due by last week. Oh, so it was 2 weeks ago when I was sick. Yeah, it was 2 Fridays ago. I had gotten like, hey, we need your lines by April 1st. And I'm like, fuck, my voice is gone. It is gone. It is so over. And I felt so bad because like I'm very new to the voice acting thing. Things that I'm new in, I don't like to demand for too much, even if it's things that I need. Like I need time for my voice to heal. I need that. I don't like to ask for that though, because that feels like I'm asking for too much. I haven't proven myself worthy enough to make demands. I kind of want to work up to that. So, like for example, one time I reached out to to just a content creator that I like that does like My Little Pony animations in their art style, and I was like, I love your animations. If you need someone to voice, I can do these ponies' voices and things like that, or just different things. And they asked me, oh, what's your commission rate? Y'all are getting paid. I know people get paid for commissions for voice acting work, but I had made my account for voice acting on Instagram like at that point, maybe like less than a month ago. I don't even think I had hit 100 followers at the time. And so I felt not weird about, I thought it was very considerate, but I was like, I'm not worthy of being paid right now. I kind of want to build up like a reputation and then people can pay me. Although I did receive payment one time from a buddy of mine. Very cool. And I was like, you don't have to pay me. I love working with you. It is so fun to work with you. And then he was like, I know, but like, you kind of deserve, something just so like it really like motivated. And I was like, that's so sweet of you. And then I made like 25 bucks that day. It was fun. I love voice acting. It's so fun. It's so fun. Oh, it's so fun. But yeah, I gotta get my bread up. My voice was gone, so I haven't been too active on either of that. I mean, I was already being very inactive on this account, but there was just no fucking way that I could give you content then. Like, if I wasn't already giving you guys content, there even less now that my voice sounds like I'm missing my trachea and shit. Like it was bad. Again, talking for like 5 seconds would cause my voice to just die out. That's miserable. And you know why? I love to sing. I'm a singer. I'm a singer before anything else, or was a singer before anything else, because nowadays I just say I'm an actress for stage typically. But I was a singer before anything else. Everything that I am good at and everything that I have to do involves my voice one way or another. It does not make sense for me to perform at all or do anything if I can't talk. I am not 5'8" and 3/4. That is a lie. But yeah, it's very depressing to lose your voice, and not just like again, I've gotten sick before. I 22 years, not the best health ever. You're gonna catch a cold here and there. But something about completely like your voice dying out is so depressing, and it's kind of distressing when that's just never happened to you, because it's like, when is my voice going to come back? I've heard of people losing their voice permanently. And it's like, that's scary. That is horrifying. I don't Like that's the most of my concern. If I ever sustained an injury to my neck, my concern would not be, am I alive? Like, how do I feel? My concern would be, am I going to be able to use my voice again? Am I going to be able to sing as I once used to? And if I'm not, can I train back up to that level? And if not, I might as well have just died. That sounds extreme, I know, but without my voice, I am nothing. I have nothing. You know? Like I'm very much deep about this shit. And yeah, I know I don't take the best care of my voice. The bitch smokes. We get it, okay? We know. But I don't do it to the point where it's very damaging. And I'm trying to let go of smoking. It's very tempting in these times. I'm trying to let go of smoking. I don't have a problem with drinking, which, by the way, apparently drinking is more dangerous to your voice because that's what happened to Jose, but he was also smoking. But drinking can also fuck up your voice. As it is, I'm not too big a fan of alcohol. So that's even less reasons. Coffee is bad, but I'm gonna still drink coffee. No one can take that away from me. I don't give a fuck. Unless I'm told, Clarissa, if you take even an ounce, like if you drink even a fluid ounce of coffee, your vocal cords will disintegrate. I have no reason to let go of caffeine at all. But anyway, yeah, I've started thinking about ultimately what I want to do here, and I just kind of want to exist. If I make some money, that's cool. I never saw myself not having a real job. Of course, I would daydream and I'd have my acting awards and things like that. I'd have a career off of acting and all that. But that's a daydream. When I think about things realistically, I see myself as a teacher. But I also see myself as someone having this outlet that I could make a bit of money off of, but that's about it. Would it be cool to sustain myself with this? Absolutely. Absolutely. But do I have the time to, risk that? Because, like, no. Sorry. But yeah, I do want that though to be something that, oh, people just know that I'm good at, Oh, Clarissa does this, Clarissa does that. Okay, cool. And that would be very, very fun. So yeah. Um, I was much more creative like a year or two ago. I wonder what happened to that. Nothing seems fun anymore. And that's what's really depressing. And all the things that seem fun cost money. That's also wrong. I have my measurements on my Depop. Y'all could just look at that shit there. But yeah. Anyway, what have I done today? I went to my class. I had a class. Was pretty fun. No, it wasn't. I mean, it was. I like, I'm taking, because I'm getting my degree in theater, unless they decide to fuck me in the ass, apparently, because I don't have the proper credits, even though I do have the proper credits. They're just being assholes about it. And in that case, my degree, I would have to reach out to the fucking university and see if they could accept me into their sociology program. And I'll just be a fucking social worker. But anyway, no shade to social workers, but that's not what I wanted to do. I wanted to teach theater, and I will teach theater. I will teach theater. Anyway, but what was I saying? Oh yeah. I'm taking a scenic lighting design class. So just lighting, stage lighting. That's what it's called, stage lighting. And I hate that in order for you to have to get this degree, you do have to take something outside of performing, which it's like, but that's my forte. I'm not going into this to teach tech. And the thing is, no shade to tech, But that's really for people who are good at that. I'm not good at that, and I'm okay with not being good at that. Why am I seeing math in theater spaces? Math, everything that is science and math, some history, worst topics, which, yes, that just leaves me to like liberal arts and shit like that. But that's just who I am. I'm not that smart. Okay, I can be smart. Don't get me wrong, I don't think I'm that fucking stupid. But in terms of studies, I'm not that book smart. I used to be, but I'm not anymore. I suck at math. I suck at math. I feel like I've told this story before, but I had to take algebra 2 in sophomore year. That's just how it is, A through G requirements in high school. I had to take algebra 2. Do you guys know how I passed algebra 2? The professor asked me, Clarissa, what grade do you want? And I thought he was just testing to see where I would put myself. Like, would I be humbled even though I don't deserve it? Or would I just give myself the highest grade? So I said a C. And a C is exactly what I got, having turned in no work. I turned in nothing that year, and I got a C. Isn't that funny? That teacher doesn't work there anymore. But to be fair, that teacher had not worked there for a while, like hasn't worked there in so long. But yeah, that's how I passed my sophomore year math class. Clarissa, what grade do you want? And I said a C. I should have just said a B. My GPA would have been so much higher. Do you guys know what my GPA was in high school? What is G? I don't know what that is. What is that? I genuinely don't know. Um, but yeah, I just. Oh, Depop. That one's Depop. Depop. I sell my clothes on there. I feel like I might have linked it or something in a community post, but you just sell clothes on there. I made less money. I spent more money trying to sell my clothes on Depop than made money selling my clothes on Depop. I made like $8 off of a fucking skirt of from Shein that I sold. Can y'all fucking believe that? It's horrible. Pissed me off so bad. But anyway, so I just it I am mad about that still. But anyway, my GPA in high school, going back to that, was like it was a 1.9. And now I wasn't dumb. I just felt I had better shit going on up here than the shit on paper. And that's bad. I know. If anyone in here is watching this, there's one person here watching this. It's David. But you're in high school, do your work. There's one thing I would like to advise kids in middle school and in high school. Do not for the life of you get into a relationship. Even if the person is a good person, don't even mess with that. Deadass, just focus on school, have your little friends, go out, live it the fuck up. But you don't need a relationship to do that. You don't. Oh my God, I would have genuinely probably been in a much better place right now if I refrained from dating in high school. I'm not gonna get into details about that, obviously, but anyway, but don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. When you're in, honestly, I'm gonna be fair. I don't think anyone should be dating until they reach 21. Am I being an extremist? I'm being an extremist. I just enjoy your fucking youth. Enjoy that shit because that shit passes by fast. Horribly fast. Okay? But also, just because you're not in a relationship as a teen doesn't mean. No, David, I don't agree with you. I don't agree with you. Um, you can have feelings, you can be in love. Do not get in a relationship. Don't. I wouldn't recommend that shit. I don't. And mostly because when you're young, mind you, I am still 21. When you're young, you have a very hard time not centering that thing in your life. Like you have a problem not focusing on other things because you feel, and again, it depends on how you're brought up, you feel like that is the most important thing and probably the only thing that you have. And you have a really hard time actually focusing on other shit that kind of matters more. But that's my opinion. My opinion. My opinion. Yeah, you honestly just save yourself more trouble. You save yourself more trouble. And controversial. But yeah. Of course people are going to do what they want once they hit 18, and that is not my fucking business. But especially in what is middle school and high school, do not get in a relationship. You don't need that. You don't need that. Now I will also say, I did say have fun, go out, That doesn't mean do crazy shit either. I know so many people in high school that did just absurd shit that is very much still affecting them to this day. Things that start with the letter D, ending in an S or a G, plural. Drogas. It's not, have your fun. Don't do that shit, You know, I don't know. I don't think I don't think that at age 15 you need a Percocet. But maybe I'm being an extremist there. I don't think that at age 16 you need to be familiar with, Xanax unless it's prescribed, of course, but I didn't know anyone that was on Xanax in high school that had it prescribed. So, yeah, you don't need that. And another thing, a lot of people are like, why is everyone doing cocaine now? Baby, I've known people that have been doing cocaine since high school. I don't think you need to know how to I don't think you need to know how to do that. When people did Xanax, that, oh no, you lucked out. No, it's crazy. Like, first of all, I had to wonder, how did people get access to this, and how did they get access to some shit that wasn't laced? Because a lot of these kids would come back to school the next fucking day. Granted, I'm snitching on myself now, but I don't care. But like, first time I ever tried anything was sophomore year, and I had ample opportunity to try it in middle school, and that says something. Mind you, and by it I don't mean anything hardcore. So whatever you don't consider, actually that's a bad thing. A lot of people don't consider cocaine hardcore. I don't know what size I am in men's. I know what size I am in women's. But anyways, yeah, doing cocaine in the 8th grade is crazy. I knew a girl who did, and I thought she just looked like that. Why did you give into it? Did you want to fit in, or was it curiosity? Oh, it was curiosity. Oh, for sure it was curiosity. I was able to hang out with the people I hung out with. Um, back, like without doing it. And then one day I was like, y'all know what? Give me a fucking hit of that, right? I want some of that. It didn't do anything to me. I'm pretty sure they just gave me like fucking like what actual water vapor in a fucking cartridge, whatever. Um, I'm 21. I'm turning 22 this year. But anyways, and a little bit of inside of my life here. It And I was in my sophomore year. I knew this one girl, and she was like a year older than me, I'm pretty sure. A year or two older than me. No, she was a year older than me. She was a junior. Um, and we would we would just be getting that stizzy in the bathroom. Yes, I know I'm not proud of it. I'm not proud of it. I'm not proud of it at all. Trust and believe. I'm not, okay? But it felt good. It felt good. Most of the time it didn't hit, but that's because I took like one hit. Nowadays, it takes like 6 hits for me to feel something, to feel a decent amount. Okay? But anyway, that was the most I've tried, and that's still the most I'll ever do. Like in terms of the actual drug. Oops. Am I gonna get banned for saying drug? Anyway, yeah, don't be. And I didn't do that often, by the way. I wanted to try it. I wanted to dabble. It's just not. She is whining. Did y'all hear my cat? Don't do drugs, guys. It's for losers. And I can firmly say I was a really big loser in my sophomore year. I did way less drugs in my senior year, and I had a really good senior year. I didn't do drugs in my senior year. What am I talking? Oh my God, I didn't get high at all my senior year. Wait, did I? I think I did, but it wasn't like the way okay. It's one thing if you're getting high because it's a weekend and you're having fun. You shouldn't be getting high as a child anyway. Let's make that very clear. I'm not condoning that, but I am going to draw a difference. It's one thing when you're getting high cuz it's fun. That's not something that you do all the time. No one wants to do the same thing that they do to have fun every day. But if you're doing it to cope, at some point I'll feel bad for you. And then at another point it's like we're low-key losers like that. Like, and it's not even cool. Holy ads in live. Hey man, I don't know. But yeah, don't do that. Don't be doing that, guys. Don't be doing that. Hold on. I saw a message here, by the way, that was like tips for the ladies. Contrary to popular belief, and by popular belief, I mean the people that are mad at me about a video I made 2 years ago, a year ago, no, 2 years ago. I am a lady, and I'm gonna give y'all some advice. Unless you are a genuine, abhorrent human being, just be yourself. Be yourself, bro. I actually I'm not with people who are overly fake. Don't walk up to ladies. You can definitely walk up to ladies. You can definitely walk up to ladies. And by the way, it's really not a looks thing. I feel like a lot of people are still stuck in this like high school mentality. I find it that looks matter when you're in high school. Hence why you also should not be dating in middle school through high school or anything beneath that. That shouldn't even be an idea in your mind, because let me tell you, that will give you an eating disorder. You will get an eating disorder. You will get an eating disorder. But as an adult, you can pull at whatever fucking weight you are, no matter how facially challenged you are, you can pull. Anyone can pull. Anyone can pull as an adult. You know who can't pull as an adult? People who are genuinely abhorrent. And there are ways of people to know that. So Be yourself and don't be a dick. Oh my god. I've seen a lot of and I've seen even guys say this about girls. Oh, I like when she's mean to me. I like when this. That's not true. If you have your thing in an established relationship where it's like, I kind of like, the little attitude that she gives. That's one thing. But in order to actually get to that point where it's like, oh, I'm going to start dating someone, I don't want to date an asshole. Most people are not innate, like instantly attracted to that. And if you are, that is something you got to unpack with a psychologist. But yeah, a lot of people are like, oh, this person won't be with me because I'm this. And also, you have to be realistic. You have to be realistic. I don't know if I said that you can bag anyone, but I want to kind of retract that statement. You can bag someone. I don't think you can bag anyone because you also need to take a good look at yourself and be like, what do I deserve? What is realistic for me? You know? I do have, and maybe that's bad on my part, I do have a beggars can't be choosers mentality, but I was someone who was not taking care of herself a lot. And I wanted like when I was in again middle school, high school, and I would look at people and be like, I have a crush on this person, but this person has really good grades. This person is taking really good care of themselves. This person is like an active person in the community. That's not that's not connecting. You know, you have to be realistic. A lot of life, as much as it sucks, is about being realistic. I would love if unrealistic shit happened all the time, but that's not reality. That's not it. Um, but yeah, and also like I get it, opposites attract, by the way. Don't date someone that's completely different to you because that will cause some conflict. But yeah, just be nice. Be nice and listen. Have a great day, David. But yeah, just be nice and listen. Like actually listen. Like don't just sit there and be like, like actually take into consideration what the person is talking to you about. A lot of people are very attracted to people who are just attentive, which is not me all the time. Like, but this girl, I couldn't say anything to, and I miss her. Seen her at my church, my home life. Not a creep. That doesn't make you a creep. You had a crush. You're not a creep. You noticed someone who rejected me in elementary. That's crazy. That's fucking. But I mean, you're also very different in elementary too. I don't know how old you are now, but yeah, it might suck. But also remember, y'all's brains were still pretty much mush in elementary. Maybe she would still reject you now, but I'm sure the reasons are much more complex and, not something to take to heart. It'll be okay, essentially, is what I'm trying to say. I'm still very much in a relationship, but if I wasn't, it doesn't just seeing the way that people interact with others, and seeing how things work as adults, I don't think I would struggle to, when I'm ready in the scenario where I'm single and once I'm ready to start dating again, I don't think that would be difficult for me. The relationship aspect, obviously, is far more difficult than actually having a partner, than actually getting that person. That's what a lot of people fail to consider. So a lot of people will think about it like, oh, I would be such a good guy to be in a relationship. I just need the relationship. Let me tell you right now, you are going to struggle a hell of a lot more actually being in that relationship than getting into that relationship. And I feel like that should just be common sense, but a lot of people are like, that whole mindset of I could be enough for this person, or I could be the person that this person wants or needs, which by the way, we need to stop enforcing that mentality that we need other people, because people can be temporary as much as they tell you that they're not. And that's just the reality of things. That doesn't make anyone evil or malicious or bad or anything. that just makes them human. What you need is yourself, really. And I'm not getting on my little preachy moment. It's just, I think it is such an important thing being able to be self sufficient to where I can be content with myself. And if I were to have no one in my life, me being there for me is enough. Like I think that's such an important thing to establish. And I hope that one day I can work to that level. But so that reinforces to not walk up unless you want to be humiliated, which is sad because oh, you have a job. I thought you were really young. Um, if someone humiliates you for walking up to them and trying to talk to them, that says more about them than it does about you. I've walked up to people and tried to start a conversation with them only to be dismissed. And I used to take that so personally. And a part of me still does if that were to happen. Like you can tell when people just don't want to talk to you, they'll be like, yeah, like when you're talking. And at that point, something that I'm still working on as a person is don't be anywhere where you're not wanted. Do not force people, like, don't force interaction. If you're being dismissed, that is no longer, that's where you have to step back and be like, all right, I'm not wanted here. So I'm gonna just see myself out and find somewhere where I am wanted. Know your worth. And that is a lot to ask of someone to work on their self-esteem, but work on it to a point where you can be like, okay, even if I'm not happy with myself, I know my value as a human being. And quite frankly, I'm not going to be in a place where I'm not wanted, where I feel not welcome, where I feel like I'm the one that has to talk to you in order to get a word out of you. If you are not seeking me out as much as I seek you out, there's a problem there. And I can only make a fucking, like, I can only make a fool out of myself so much. So if you want to find me, that's cool. I can't keep doing that. Makes sense that a pattern recognition is a mindset. Fair, right? That's why so many men, at least, only bad guys do so. Well, the thing is about that is I know a lot of women as well that don't approach men, and I want to say that it's not like a an issue of gender and things like that. We're talking about approaching people and things like that relationship wise. I think, and again, I blame a lot of the lack of socialization due to the pandemic. You know, a lot of people just don't seem approachable. But if everyone has that mindset that, oh, the majority of people are unapproachable, no one is going up to each other anymore. Nobody is having that communication. And that's a problem. So, yeah, it makes sense. But you also have to realize that a few negative experiences that you have will not indicate the rest of your life. And allowing those few negative experiences to dictate how you live or the experiences of others, it is going to become incredibly limiting to you. You will struggle a lot more in getting the things that you want. I had a thing where I wouldn't audition for things after facing rejection and after even an experience where they just straight up laughed at my face when I was auditioning. So because of that rejection, I didn't want to audition, but then it's like I want to work in this and I can't not get work I can't get work if I don't audition. So that's just something I have to put up with. If you want a relationship or you want to find a partner, yeah, you've experienced a lot of rejection, or not a lot, maybe just a bit of rejection, and that sucks. Trust me, it sucks. But ultimately, we just got to kind of keep it pushing. Not telling you to like get over it like that. You can acknowledge that thing and be like, yeah, this is something that affects me and affects the way that I move, but I got to keep trying. I got to try again, and not with the same person, by the way, because again, do not stay anywhere where you are not wanted. Happy ass couples on Instagram. I need there to be a ban on relationship content on Instagram. I need there to be hard ban on relationship content. Obviously, no one is going to upload the worst parts of their relationship. And when they do, you get a lot of people that lack nuance and have a lot of shit to say about your relationship. And it's like, no relationship is perfect. And just remember that a lot of those happy couples you see, they are more than likely experiencing things that they are obviously not going to put online. I don't like to talk much about my relationship or any relationships that I've had online because that is not something for me to discuss. I did have a moment of vulnerability like last year where I was on live because I was upset because, we had kind of broken up, but we didn't break up. We are very much still together as of now. But yeah, oh yeah, I was a mess. And that's why you have to really just kind of get in a better state before you do shit like that. But just remember, nothing in life is ever completely beautiful. And I think putting in this image of just how beautiful this thing is tricks a lot of people and they don't make an informed decision on that thing that they want to do. Like, for example, marriage. Of course, marriage can have its beautiful moments, but only presenting it as something that is just so beautiful is not good, because then when it starts to not feel beautiful, as most things are, because nothing is completely beautiful, then you start to feel disappointed, then you start to feel unsatisfied in your marriage and shit happens. you know um Things like having children, which can be beautiful, but then when you're on that damn hospital bed, you're like, I didn't anticipate any of this. You need to be realistic. You need to be realistic. Marriage purpose is solely just the financial benefits. That's it. I would also have to disagree. And I only do that because I come from a household where I had, like, my parents, we lived off of two incomes. It couldn't work out if my mom had been the only one working or if my dad had been the only one working. Um, I feel like in that case, it's a lifelong commitment. It's you wanting to be with that person. I won't agree, by the way. Like, I won't disagree that financial things don't play a part in marriage, because it absolutely does, especially with things like, your the word was in my head and it left. Like your own property, your own assets, that's definitely a financial thing that needs to be dealt with. But ultimately, depending, I'm Catholic, so I see it in a very spiritual thing. Marriage is more than just a financial thing. I will say that it is both that and an emotional thing, like the connection that you have with that person and wanting to solidify it. But concept of marriage itself, not relationships. Oh yeah, no, not. But like, yeah, I know. Even I feel like marriage itself is also equally as much an emotional thing as it is a financial thing. And if it is purely financial, I have to wonder if that person that you're with, if you are married to someone, you feel like this is only a financial thing, I have to wonder if you actually love that person. Marriage has a meaning. And I mean, it's different for everyone, but I feel like the most important thing that people agree on is that this is a commitment that you are making because you just love this person and this is who you want to spend the rest of your life with. And if it doesn't work out, again, that's human. That just happens. These things just happen. The human experience is so confusing and complex, and it can seem cruel as it used to be. See, that's what's crazy, because I keep seeing a lot of people being like, Gen Z doesn't want to get married. And quite frankly, I feel like Gen Z, they do want to get married, but then it depends on what content you're seeing. Again, I feel like social media is really presenting it as either this thing that people are just doing, or just very anti-marriage, anti-family kind of things. It honestly depends what you are seeing, and quite frankly, we are not all seeing the same things. It's like, I want kids in the future, and I look at my nieces, and not saying they're terrible, but nah, I have the same line of thinking. I'd like to be a mom, and still to this day, I want to be a mom at some point. But I have to actually think about it. What benefit not what benefit does having children have for me? That doesn't matter anymore when you bring another life into this world. It's how can I now benefit this other life? And quite frankly, I keep saying quite frankly, but come on, y'all. I don't have anything that a child can benefit from. I don't think I can give, my future offspring a very enjoyable life. Seeing who I am right now and how I live my life right now. I live my life right now comfortable because I don't have any responsibilities, and a child is a pretty big responsibility. And also, I only have to deal with myself. I have to deal with my family, I have to deal with my boyfriend, with my friends. And I'm barely managing that in a way that is, respectable. If I had to deal with a child in the same way that I deal with, the rest of my relationships, that would not be a good environment for a child. And that might be me oversharing, but I am very honest about how I am as a person. I'm very aware. I do not think I am capable of like providing that, the stability that a child needs emotionally, not just financially, to thrive. So, yeah. And again, no one is ever ready to be a parent, but there are some things I feel like are the bare minimum. Being able to support a child financially should be one of them, and also being able to provide a space that is not, you know, emotionally turbulent, because that does such a number on a child. Those both those things are so important. So again, yeah, we need to make sure that we're not just seeing things as purely beautiful or purely negative. Let's just keep a very realistic outlook on a lot of these things. Does give a bad impression on marriage, especially if people is cut. Yeah. Oh no, yeah, and especially that. I feel like people are way too public, or like we have a thing, and I mean it's always been a thing that they just love drama. They love messes. And so that creates an environment where like they're just so obsessed with the lives of other people, the relationships of other people, that it starts to affect their own. And I am guilty of that. But yeah, we just need to see less of that shit. We need to see less of that. So Trey, I got this friend who's 20. I hope things get better for her too. No, because it's difficult. It is so difficult. I have family members that they had their first kid at like 18, and they're doing good right now to sustain, but just the problem to, like, like the challenge to actually push above, it's very rare, and they manage to, get things in order and, have a functional life here. But oh my goodness, it is just, they did good. I know for a fact I could not. I'm not in a place in my life right now, and I don't know when I will be, where it's like I can, push aside my own problems and put my child on this pedestal. Because, and as much as you are allowed to have time for yourself as a parent, I'm not saying that, but ultimately that time for yourself should not come before your child. You do unfortunately need to put your child on a pedestal. And it's unfortunate for a bunch of other people, but these are just people that didn't anticipate that they are just not going to have enough freedom or liberty, to do as they please now that they have a kid. I don't know. It's difficult navigating things like relationships and where those end up. Very difficult. Hi. What a great conversation. Oh my goodness. That was a good talk. That was good talk. Yeah. Back to the very initial topic though. It does seem very scary to, put yourself out there, but it's just something you have to do. And if people reject you, that's their loss, really. Unless you are actively doing bad things and are someone that people really should not be around, like I'm talking a genuinely like flawed in a way that's like going to affect your relationship, because everyone's flawed with other people. If you were just being rejected on the basis of things like you know like who you are, but not because you do bad things, like for example like your interests and things like that, or your looks, like things like that, if you're being rejected on the basis of those things, that's their loss. That is not anyone. Okay, vaya con Dios. That's we gotta. I'm gonna leave y'all there, and move on. And not like, of course, you're still gonna feel some kind of way, because rejection, that's a negative. And even if it can lead to good things, it innately, humans will perceive rejection as something not good. And so that'll sting, but hey man, it's their loss. We just got to keep it pushing. There will be there I feel like there is someone for everyone. Even horrible people, by the way. Even people who are like, you look at them, you're like, "Oh, you're fucked up." You hear about the things they do and it's like, "You're fucked up." People for them too. There is genuinely people for anyone. There are so many people on this earth for there to like just not be anyone for you. That's not realistic. And I'm very much about being realistic nowadays. Like I try to really just like focus on what is obtainable for me. And ultimately, any rejection, life has to go on. Yeah. Like, guys, I grew up extremely chopped. I grew up incredibly chopped. There's someone for you. There is. But at that point, rejection hurt so much. But also, like nowadays, of course, not in the relationship sense, but like, for example, for a job, I've been rejected from so many jobs, or just blatantly ignored, which sucks even more. I just got to keep it pushing and move on to the next job. And that is the same way that you should move on with not just like romantic relationships, but platonic relationships, like with friends. There are people that you will be friends with or you'll want to be friends with. And in the situation where you want to be friends with them, they'll just like be cold with you or just kind of try to drop hints that they don't want to get that close to you. That's fine. Move on. Keep it pushing. There are people who would love to be friends with you. And in terms of people who, like you've known for years and you have been friends with, they suddenly start to go cold. And it's like, I don't want to be friends with you anymore. But let me not tell you that. If you start to catch, keep it pushing. I enjoyed the friendship you were able to offer me. I cannot let myself, be here and wonder why am I not receiving the same energy from you? That is draining. Let's go our separate fucking ways. And that doesn't make them, unless it's because they did some fucked up shit to you, that's just life. That's how it is. I see rejection as it wasn't meant to be, and I used to be very negative. But I fortunately look at things as it is what it is. Oh no, absolutely. See, that's exactly what I'm saying. Like, yeah, rejection is gonna suck, but you cannot like relish and revel or I don't know what the right word, but you can't roll around in that. You can't. You can acknowledge it like, yeah, that sucks, but just think about how many other opportunities and how many other people I will meet that actually want me for me. Like if I have to change so many things about myself for me to be, like for me to be someone worthy of being in your life, things that are not like are very much not doing favors to me and are actually doing a disservice to me, you're simply not worth having this relationship with you. It's not worth it. If I have to change who I am as a person, change, for example, the way I feel about a lot of things, and change my appearance, if I have to change my interests, and if I have to stop talking to certain people, and if I have to start doing certain things in order for me to be someone worthy of being in your life in any way, I don't need to be in your life. I don't. I can only, like, I refuse to change myself for other people unless it's things that, like, I know I need to work on, like my temper. If I want to keep a lot of the people that I have in my life, my temper, which can get pretty out of hand, that needs to change. And I'm willing to change that. But if you're telling me, oh, you can't talk to this person anymore. Why? Because I don't like them. Why don't you like them? Oh, because they just suck. They're weird. And meanwhile, the person hasn't done anything. I don't need to. I don't need to do anything for you. I don't need to do that. I don't. I really don't. The fuck? And things like, oh, like, you need to have this done. You need to do this for me. Like, I'm not doing anything. Of course, I'm always going to want to put my part in a relationship, but if it's just you got to change your way of thinking, you got to do this, you got to do that, I'm not doing that. There's only so much that I can do to keep someone in my life. And if it's at a, like, if it's not benefiting me in any way and is actually doing a disservice to me, that's not worth it. It's not worth keeping you in my life. It's kind of crazy. I don't normally click on lives with these topics, exactly what I'm going through and thinking of. It's I find it so crazy, like, just how much content I've seen regarding things like that, and things like of self-worth and things like that. It says a lot about where we are as a society. But yeah, it's just, I feel like things with self-esteem, we know people struggle with that, but we don't know just how much people struggle with that, or like how many people are really struggling with that, because it's so surface level to just be like, I believe the chicken is ready and I'm going to go turn that off. Give me a moment. Okay, I'm back. Hi. Wonder if y'all were able to hear anything that happened in the kitchen right now. But yeah, self-esteem. Very complex thing. And as much as I am, saying all these things, I need you guys to know what I'm saying is beneficial, but I myself struggle to this day with, actually grasping these things. I need to work on that. I'm very self-aware. Um, and I know what I need to do, but it's just hard to do it. I think reaffirming these things in my mind will actually help. I don't think I reaffirmed them enough, and I think that's a problem. You can only know, like, you can know of these things, but not affirming these things over and over again in your mind kind of makes it lose meaning. Like, for right now, the thing I've been working on the most, it's not to do with rejection or anything else, but it's been this thing about things don't, and I kind of mentioned it earlier. It's two things. It's excessive worry and feeling like things are happening to me, not things just happen, even though the reality is that things do just happen sometimes. Or things like, I don't have any fault in this. Sometimes I don't have fault in a lot of the things that I go through. Sometimes it is someone else's fault, but that's not all the time. And I need to, kind of focus on being able to assess when it's my fault, when it's someone else's fault, or when this thing just happens, because that's life. it's kind of impossible for things to just always happen to you. It's not good to be in a victim mentality, is what I'm getting at. Self-esteem been kicking my ass. It's something I've always dealt with at a young age. Low self-esteem, very insecure about my looks, how I talk, I can smell. I tend to overthink. I'm someone who has OCD, like not just, oh, I need my books in order and I need to scrub all of this because I'm such a neat clean freak and I have OCD. Like no, I am diagnosed OCD. I get so much obsessive thoughts, and for the longest time, the way that it would like a lot of that manifested itself was with my looks and things like that, things about me. If I'm not doing enough, the way I talk to people, um, and I always felt like I was under like a microscope. Like everything was just being picked at, but um, whole time that just makes it harder to like go through your day and things like that. It it's consuming it, and you think it means that you're mindful of what other people think of you. Whole time they don't care. They don't care. And people who do care are typically like fucking high school bullies. High school fucking bullies. I'm telling you. Like I try not to dwell on those negative thoughts. Yeah, that's a lot of how my OCD is, and not just with things of myself. I have the worst. I have OCD in like so many aspects, like in my relationship, and I'm trying to manage. I'm medicated now because I absolutely do need it. I've already tried self-regulating and I can't. I can do it somewhat, but I needed the extra help with medication. And there's no shame in that. There is no shame in that. Now, when they're prescribing you things just all willy-nilly without really assessing you and giving you the time to be like, can you self-regulate? That's a problem. That's where I criticize, pharmaceuticals and, but needing it, like actually needing it and benefiting from that, I will never shame anyone for doing that. And I think people who do are losers. Anyways, um, but yeah, nowadays, if I find myself having a negative thought, I feel like I'm a bit more regulated now. Like, of course, I'll still experience emotions, but not as intensely as I used to. And it's helping. Like, I'll have moments, of course, where I do experience intense emotion, but not as frequent. And that helps. So, with my worry, I would just overthink on everything and it would consume me. I have had thoughts, so distressing thoughts about things that are not happening and more than likely will not happening and I will not happen and I will cry. I would have full-blown breakdowns needing reassurance about a lot of these things. And that's not fun. It's not fun to live like that. It doesn't. And for the question, would you say that this OCD helps you with your videos or makes them harder? I think when it comes to making videos poking fun at OCD, I think that makes it pretty fun, because that's me. That's me making fun of my little struggle. But when it comes to actually creating content and things like that and actually being in the public space, like I'm not saying like, oh my gosh, paparazzi's everywhere, but there are people watching my content. It makes me overthink, like, what are they thinking of me? And what do they think of my content? Or I said this thing in the video, is that going to translate well? And if it doesn't translate well, like, how do I explain what I actually meant? And I will just spiral down. It definitely makes it harder, but it makes it as difficult. It makes it difficult to do content the same way it makes other things in my life difficult. It's not a significant level of struggle, just to, use a different word. It's very consuming. It is so consuming. If it's to the extent that I'm explaining it, by the way, I honestly would recommend, speaking about it at least to a therapist if you're not with the whole medication thing. And if you end up needing it, then speak to a psychiatrist. But it is a thing. It is 100% a thing that apparently the damage from it, I don't know if it's that. I have a couple of diagnoses and I don't want to talk about them. I don't want to talk about them, but OCD is the one that I talk about because it has ruled my life for so long without me even knowing about it. I didn't know I had OCD. I knew that things needed to be a certain way in my life and I needed to have control of outcomes for everything, but I thought that was normal. I thought it was normal to want things to go your way. And see, now it's one thing to want things to go your way. It is another thing to feel genuine distress when things are not going your way. And not genuine distress like, oh man, that sucks. But like things where like now I have to make up for this misfortune by doing several rituals to assure myself that everything is actually in order. Yeah, that's a problem. If you are thinking for a long time, I thought I knew there was something wrong with me. I knew that I had some kind of depression and some kind of anxiety, but I thought this was stuff that a lot of people go to, right? Go through. But apparently, it's not normal to sit in your room with this very blank expression, trying not to cry because of the impact, the multiple thoughts you have just spent the past 5 minutes spiraling into. Like it's not normal to think about things excessively and actually cry about them because you're so worried. That's not normal, apparently. So yeah, it's also not normal, by the way, to stress out about things that may or may have not happened. Your brain will genuinely make up scenarios. Do you want to know something? I went live on my birthday last year. It was my birthday. It was my actual birthday last year. Someone had and I was crying. Before that, I was driving back home from school and I was so entirely convinced that I had hit someone with my car. The way that it happened is I went to get gas after leaving my class, right? And I was supposed to make a right turn. So it was just like an immediate just like a little bend, right? Did you hit a bump? Uh Not exactly. So there was this person crossing, right? And they have right of way. But I didn't notice another person. So it was this like crosswalk, right? Say my car is here, right? This person was crossing this way, right? But there was another person crossing this way, and the other person made it to the other side. The person that was coming like towards me this way had barely started to walk, and I didn't notice that until after just bending my car over. They were still pretty far away from my car, right? And I felt like such an asshole. But the more that I drove, I started to think, the first thought I had was, Clarissa, how close was the person crossing the street towards your side? How close were they? How close do you remember them being? They could have been very close to your car, Clarissa. Clarissa, what if you hit that person? And no, no, Clarissa, I don't think you hit them fully, but I think you most definitely ran over their foot. And eventually that spiraled to, Clarissa, what if someone was trying to stop you after you hit that person with your car? And I was genuinely in so much distress, having this spiral of thoughts. It was bad. And then to a point where it's like, okay, well, let me just think back on the situation. And I couldn't remember anything, nothing at all. I couldn't remember how the person looked like. I couldn't remember how, like, how fast they were walking. And I could have sworn I had remembered, like, oh, they weren't that far. No, I started to see them like
oh no, like I started to remember them. Oh, they were actually pretty close to your car. You almost hit them. No, you did hit them, Clarissa. They were very close to your car. You hit them. It was so stressful. I just came upstairs and cried on live. I didn't mention. Oh no, most definitely based off of the OCD. And I'm not the first person, by the way, in this family who has experienced that. Do you know how crazy that is? It's okay. Obsessive compulsion or compulsive obsessive compulsive disorder. It's a thought obsession. It is literally a thought disorder. You are like obsess over these thoughts that lead to other thoughts for you to obsess over, and it doesn't stop, and it causes this excessive worry. And where the compulsions come in is the compulsions, you need to compulsively think about this thought. You need to do these different rituals for you to assure yourself of the thoughts that you're having. Like if you're worried about this one thing, you're going to obsess over it. And the way that the compulsions come in, it's like, okay, now you got to do this to make sure that it didn't happen. The way that there were signs, by the way, there were signs that I might have had that. When I was younger, my mom would give me her keys, right? And she'd be like, Clarissa, go lock my car, right? 2 clicks and her car was locked. I would click that shit 10 times to make sure I heard the horn honking 10 times because I just wasn't sure that, like, at the second when it was locked. And then I would forget, like, did I actually hit the horn, or am I just imagining that I hit the lock and I heard the horn? So then I would keep. So it was things like that. Things like locking the door. I had to, the way that I would function when I was younger. So we would lock the door, right? I'd lock the door because I'd be the last one to get out of the house, and I'd like pull the thing, right? And then I would get to the car and I'd be like, did I check the door? Did I even lock the door? And then I'd be like, Mom, I need to get off the car. I need to get off the car and check the door. And I'd get off and like pull on it. And I wouldn't just go like one, two pulls. Cool. I would yank on that shit to make sure it was locked. And it went to a point where it's like I need to have something in place to know that I did lock it. And this is a gesture that I can only do for me to know that I locked it. So when I would go to pull the door, in order for me to know that I checked the door, I would hit my hand on like the side of the door or on the doorknob, and I would still feel like the sensation of where I hit myself in order to like know I feel that in my hand. I did check the door. And even that wasn't foolproof. So there are signs. There were signs. It's like, oh no, we never saw this one coming. Yes, you did. Like, yeah, it's a bit funny to think about now, but I would be so stressed throughout my day being like, oh my God, someone is in my house. They stole my Wii. They stole my DS. I was so stressed. Oh, let me make sure something is safe. Like my mom got this new air fryer, said it would let out smoke. I'd be too scared to use it, thinking it might catch fire. Oh my God, things like that, that gets stressful. Even though it's like, no, it's fine. Just don't leave it on for too long. You'll be fine. Using it at all just feels like, you know, based on OCD. I don't self-diagnose at all, but I might just have that. If you are experiencing like half of what I've talked about, I don't think it's ridiculous to ask about it, to at least, be like, hey, can I get this assessed? Like, I don't think that's ridiculous. I'm worried about the simplest things. I don't think I'm too cautious. There's no reason for me to even be that cautious. Yeah. It happens, man. It happens. And apparently it's not normal for it to happen. I have this relative that, and I get it because they're older, but would get insanely scared of death. So the solution to that would be not to sleep at all. Damn, I missed the mental health stream. Oh yeah, you missed. It was all this this talk of, self-esteem and things like that. I also kind of had a thing like that, But then eventually the way that was cured is I just became so depressed, and it's like, well, bitch, if you die, you die. Whatever. Who cares? Go to bed. No, like I was always afraid, like if I went to sleep, like something would happen. Something. To this day, though, I still don't. It's really comfortable to sleep. Like, so if I'm laying in my bed, if I'm laying down, it's really, really comfortable to sleep on my right side. I have to settle for sleeping on my left side now because I can see my door if I sleep on my left. And I'll be able to assess a threat. Sleeping on my right would make it so that, like, because my bed's faced weirdly, so that I can't see the door, and that shit worries me. Even though I know I really have nothing to worry about. I don't live in an unsafe area. We have like alarm systems in place. I have a lock on my door that I don't use at night, but still, like, I do have things in place to, like, you can sleep on your right side, Clarissa, but I don't want to. I don't want to. I don't want to. I get into this thing of like what if something happens and you could have stopped it, Clarissa? And it's like, whatever's gonna happen is gonna happen anyway, with or without my intervention. And if I am able to stop it, cool. That also doesn't mean anything. It means I got lucky. Like in the case that something does happen and I'm able to stop it, you got lucky. Okay. So I'm in a very safe place too, and I pull the drawer out so no one can break in. No, yeah, like it was bad. I had this one situation at some point. I was very like worried about how much of this do I want to share? Like I'll share what I did, but like what caused it. No, I'm not going to do that. I was very afraid of being murdered by someone, and there is a specific person in mind. And because they also knew where I lived and they didn't live too far from me. So the way that I would remedy that, even though more than likely that person has not thought of me in over half a decade. So the way that I would combat that was, hey, Clarissa, open the screen, you know, like not the screen, the blinds, and just stay up and watch outside the window all night. Just look out the window all night. They can't do anything to you if you spot them and call the police in time. And it's like, I missed out on so much sleep and so many potentially really good and fun dreams because I was on some paranoia shit. I don't struggle with that now anymore. In regards to the people that I knew back then, I don't struggle with that. But it sucks that, like, because of my own conditions, that's how I was, you know, wired to be. It wasn't fun. And on top of that, that whole thing, not sleeping actually did so much worse to my mental health. So already having like a problem up here, right? Already having that, now mix that in with like lack of sleep. It's not fun. It's not fun. It is the worst thing. I don't wish that on my worst enemy. Horrible. Oh, it was supposed to be a soft-spoken live, and now I'm like I'm getting passionate. Let me tone it down. Yeah, I couldn't do that. I could not. I'm okay. It's just, it's not fun to know that you have like that there's clearly, because I never thought I was 100% okay. Like, well, at some point I did when I was younger. When middle school happened, I was like, there is something that it needs to be unpacked with like doctors, because I had been seeing a psychiatrist, not a psychiatrist, but like more like a therapist and a psychiatrist. Though no, I did see my psychiatrist. I don't know who that person was in that building, but they were something in mental health, because I wasn't being medicated until middle school, like until 8th grade, when they started being like, okay, try that. But that was for ADHD, you know, and that does rule a lot of my life. but nowhere as near, like nowhere as controlling as OCD has. And I had been very, familiar with, getting that mental health help and things like that since I was young. But we didn't know that there were other things to be looking at because those things weren't a concern. The concern was Clarissa has a hard time to focus in class. And it's like, okay, we've covered that. Can we deal with the other things? But even then, when I was younger, I was never like, nah, man, I'm just a kid. I'm normal. I'm dandy, right? Come middle school, I was like, there is definitely a depression that needs to be addressed here, and it doesn't help that bitches are bullying me. Do you speak Spanish? Yes, I do. It is a primary language for me, though I don't think I speak it the best. I do have good pronunciation, though. I will say that for some things. But yeah, the depression, I was like, oh yeah, we gotta address that before I do something horrible, right? Come 8th grade, that's when I was like, I am worrying excessively. And then I, like, now as an adult, I look back on my life, like back to like my very first memory. That's a figure of speech, but just looking back very early into my life, I'm like, no, that shit's been there all this time, but it just never felt so bad. It never felt this bad, mostly because when you're younger, when you're a kid, you have your parents to reassure you. So it's not like, no, my child has anxiety. It's like, my child is scared of something, and I'm going to just let my child know that everything's going to be okay. You don't really have that as a grown up, or as you get older, you have that less and less. And it's like, no, but I've felt this level of fear all my life, all this level of worry all my life. And it's just, whoa, whoa. At least it's not like a personality disorder. I will say that. At least it's not that. Because if that's what it was, I wouldn't. I would just not be on this channel anymore. But I don't think it's that. It's not that. I got, granted, I did get evaluated when I was a kid, and they don't like to diagnose people with that until adulthood. But it's not a personality disorder, so I don't have much to worry about. You know what I mean? Like, I'm cool. I'm dandy. I'm chilling. Yeah. Whoa. Really drags for a long time. Oh my God. Depression, it does. It drags on so long, and you need that shit addressed. Make sure that you guys, the 6 people in this live, if you are feeling bad, and not just I'm sad, but I can cheer up fast, if you are spending prolonged periods of time just feeling hopelessness, feeling complete and utter despair, and feeling like the world could end, and that isn't a concern to you, or you could die and that's not a concern to you, you need to seek help. And I mean that shit so seriously. And back to the anxiety thing, if you are feeling anxiety that is taking a physical toll on you, like, I've gotten so anxious that I'm, and still to this day, because I'm trying to recover from it, I'm losing hair. I have like so much hormonal acne and things like that that I have not gotten since I was 14, and going through puberty and going through really bad shit in my life. That's a problem, and you should get help. Now, I'm not saying have them ply you with medication right away. You could talk to a therapist, you could talk to a counselor. Honestly, if you need medication, though, there's no shame in that. A responsible doctor will listen to you when you say, hey, this medication is making me feel fucking horrible. Can we try something else? Or can I get off of this medication? And they'll help you. A responsible psychiatrist will do that. An irresponsible psychiatrist will be like, absolutely not. I know more than you. And to be fair, they do know more than you, but they don't know what you're feeling. If your psychiatrist will not take into consideration the things that you are feeling because of that medication, that is not a responsible psychiatrist, and you need to find someone else. Full stop. Ay, good Lord. It's always crazy looking back on it. I thought my stomach always would hurt during school. It's just my anxiety. No, yeah. So it's normal to lose a few strands of hair every now and then. That's normal because hair grows. Hair follicles, do they die? I don't know. Shit happens. That's just life. If you get up from your bed and there is like several, and I mean just like several clumps, like you could grab it like this and it'll look like yarn like that of your hair on a pillow, that's not normal. That's not normal at all. It's not. Another thing, and this happened to me one time when I believe I was at the peak of my anxiety. Actually, I think recently, like last month, was the worst. That, not my anxiety, more so my depression. I think also, and my anxiety, because those things do such a killer combo. Those things tag team real bad. But another point where it was that bad, I remember going like this to my hair, right? Like going like that. I looked at my hand. Why did I have a gray hair? I had a silver hair. I was 20 or even 19 at the time. And I went like this and I looked at my hands and I was like, I didn't dye my hair recently. I'm not blonde. I've never had blonde hair. Oh, that's not blonde. That's like silver. What is that? That's also not normal. I never asked about it medically, but if I had to, give a good guess, that's not normal. You should fix that. You should really go elsewhere to get some help for that. Allie would literally sound like a dog who sheds. Oh my God. Now I'm like, how is my hair doing? You see, if I had just it like last month, if I had done that, there would be like several strands and I'd be picking them up like that, showing them like a fucking executioner in France. Yeah, just not good. It was not good. But yeah, I feel like a lot of people really downplay their mental health because a lot of people like, I know for the longest of time, the reason I neglected it was because I was like, I don't want to be like those TikTok cringy kids and shit that self-diagnose and, they got their different alters named Sponge or something. And it's like, no, that's one thing. That's one thing, Clarissa. What you're going through might not be the worst, but it is enough to cause like legitimate concern. And you should probably go get help. It's one thing not wanting to be like, I'm exaggerating it, but if you genuinely feel bad, you should still go see a doctor. Which is by the way, anyone in this live, I doubt that you are of the age to where you're considering having kids and things like that. But if you are, do not raise them to believe that they are being dramatic. All kids, or most kids, are dramatic. But if you are instilling them that of all the kids you've met, you are the most dramatic one, that is going to do something to their self-esteem and to how much they are actually concerned about their health. And it will get to a point where they themselves will think, I'm just being dramatic. There is a bump by my pelvis that feels like it's attaching itself to a vein, but I'm just being dramatic. It'll go away. Let me just take ibuprofen. Yeah, don't raise them to think that they're being dramatic. Most kids are going to be dramatic. Don't let them feel that, or else when they're actually having problems in adulthood, they're not going to go get help for it. Oh yeah, my anxiety, it's like, it's making me feel like I gotta vomit. Making me feel like I have to vomit and like I'm losing hair, but like I'm sure that'll clear up. I'm just being a bitch. No, go get help. Oh my God. Mental health really is crazy, the way that the brain can just change. Literally, literally. Like, and the way that like events and things that people do to you or say to you can have such an impact on your fucking, like, on your brain chemistry. That's so crazy to me. Like, fuck. It's like, I don't want to let the actions and the words of other people affect you, but you genuinely have no control of that. You have no control in the way that your body processes things. You have control in the way that you choose to deal with the way that your mind processed an event, but you don't have any control in how that, like, how your brain or body initially processes that event. I've been through some shit. And I wish I could just tell my brain, don't think of it that way. Don't don't process it that way. Slow your roll. It doesn't work like that. It just doesn't work like that. How it does work though is you can do the work to, acknowledge these things and work past them, or like acknowledge it but just not let it become such a, like, such a block in your life, really. And it's easier said than done, really. It takes so much work and so much discipline, you know? So, yeah. Like, it's crazy. And just how much, like, the brain itself affects you physically. Like, how much the emotional aspect of things. And again, it has a lot to do. I took one of the most interesting classes that I took in college, aside from things from my major, which is theater. So that's automatically fun to me, except, unfortunately, except lighting, because I don't like tech. But, anyways, it was like the psychology classes that I took, but specifically, the psychology class that I took that studies the way that medicine and other drugs interact with your brain, and in terms of, when they prescribe them to other people and things like that. So your body and its functions depend on the same chemicals that your emotions depend on. So imagine if you're having like this huge spike or this huge dip of this one chemical that is used to regulate a certain emotion or a certain feeling. If there's another body part, which there is, that uses that depends on that same chemical, you're cooked. You're so cooked. You are not going to be at peak performance if you're emotionally down, because it simply just comes down to brain chemistry. And that's so interesting to me. That is so fascinating to me. Oh, it is so interesting. It's so interesting. Ugh. I love psychology, and I love everything that is to do with medication. Like, having mental health concerns and looking at medication will really bring you to a point where you're just so into pharmaceuticals. You're just so into medication and what it can do for you or for other people. Honestly, I think if I don't get into teaching or something, I'll take extra time to become a pharmacist. I think that would be so fun. I think that would be so cool. And even further, if not a pharmacist, like the most advanced level, people who actually like study medicines and find new ways to cure these things with medicine, not with therapy, because I feel like, hey, we've already done enough, positive affirmations, whatever. Medicine. Specifically, though, like if I were in that field, I would love to know what about the brain structure and the brain chemistry causes medications that are prescribed for the same thing to, be prescribed to different people. I know that we have like a basis of it. So, for example, for SSRIs, um, your sanity to be normal. Let's see. Wish I could just break out of it. Like, even when I give people advice, I know it's so much easier said than done, as progressive as. Yeah, ultimately, that's all people want. I would love love to have a break from all of this and just experience someone who, like the brain of someone who just is fine. But I know that the closest I can get to that is actually taking the steps to push through and to where, life feels normal. Like I know that all these things happened and I know that I have these certain things, um, whether it be due to events that I've experienced or due to just, genetics, things that are hereditary. Um, but there are ways to push through them. Of course, that's a lot more work, and one just wishes that they could have a break from all of that. Not realistic, not possible. And instead of just being sad about that, which I used to get sad about so much, you just got to keep it pushing. Rarely right now do I ever get sad about the fact that I am mentally ill. If I spent if I spent my time getting sad about that, if I spent all my time, because again, I have gotten sad about that, like just sat there but like, "Huh, why am I like this? I didn't ask to be like this." Nobody asks to be that way. Come on. But if I spent most of my day like that, I would have killed myself a long time ago because that's so miserable. Oh my God. Nah. So I can acknowledge you got some shit going on, but I'm doing the work to push through that shit. And I'm pretty proud of myself for being where I am. Like, that's all that I gotta, keep it pushing. I don't really get upset about the fact that I have diagnoses and things like that. It is what it is, you know? Ugh. But yeah, that's the thing that really sucks about that. But back to my research. Oh, I would love to find out like the actual like biological, physiological reasoning behind like the someone's brain structure and their brain chemistry to more accurately prescribe them SSRIs. Like for example, SSRIs, they typically give them to people based off of what they already have diagnoses for, and then how like they do a trial of that. So when you start off taking medication, by week 4 they'll be like, how is that medication feeling? And if it doesn't feel good, they'll try something else unless you want to keep trying it, because again, SSRIs don't work how they're supposed to automatically. It is a very like up down process, or sometimes it's not even up down, sometimes it's just very in between, but it's not always going to be good. You have to be taking that for a while for you to feel that way. It's that medication that doesn't work instantly. You have to build that up in your, brain chemistry. Um, but I feel like, so they base it off of that, like that trial process, and again the diagnosis. So like for example, Zoloft is prescribed to people with OCD, with depression, with anxiety, and with PTSD. Typically, that's what they give it to. I believe Prozac is only done for OCD, or they just not only, but they typically only give it to people with like OCD and depression. And then Lexapro is the one that's like anxiety, depression, and maybe PTSD. I'm not too sure. But like there's different things. And again, I feel like there has to be like a biological, like a structural thing in the brain that's like based on your brain structure, based on this MRI or whatever the fuck, we can more accurately prescribe you this medication. You know what I mean? I would love to be a part of that. And then finding new medications, it's just like, oh my God, like, fuck. Do you know how happy the person who fucking discovered SSRIs had to be? Must have felt like $1,000,000, honestly. Like, and not just for psychiatrics, like for anything in general, like any problem in general. I would love to be a part of like the research process. Specifically, and maybe this is gonna say things that are not too good about me, but I genuinely do think that cannabis like should be incorporated more medically. We've already had like much research and trials that prove that it helps with things like pain. I have a lot of family members that experience things like joint pain, like arthritis and things like that. And it's like, we've already done the research that shows that this thing could help with the pain, which is, by the way it's been described to me, excruciating. It feels so unfair having like it must feel unfair for someone to have that. And it's like, again, people are not open-minded enough to that shit, and it should be. Like, I do think that like a little kush is not gonna hurt your grandmother. I think it's gonna help her. I think I must have had the wrong strain. I just don't think we're as advanced with, with medicinal kind of cannabis usage. I don't think we've done too much. The bit of research that we have done has only shown that it does help. I feel like with more advanced research, it could be made better, you know? Mm. By the way, I will say, for things like mental health, do not rely on drugs. That's not good. That's not a good way of living. Yeah. Oh yeah, they become dependent on it. And becoming dependent on something, at some point I was very much dependent on nicotine. I don't think I was addicted, but like when I was going through a hard time or feeling a pain of sorts, whether it be physical or emotional, that fucking Geek Bar never flew to my hand faster. Like it was bad. Oh, it was bad. I don't really do it anymore, and I'm trying to like leave it. I don't know if fully, because nothing is ever permanent for me, and I hate when things are permanent for me. But this thing, I don't need it. I don't need it. Especially, I'm a singer and I do voice acting, and I do acting in general. I need to project my voice out there. I It's not good for me. But I used to just need it, and when I wouldn't have it with like a black coffee or something, I would feel pains in my fucking head. I would go backstage during like, because I'm in a musical theater workshop. I would go backstage during rehearsals because shit would get so stressful. I would find my friend Elijah, who I fucking hate. Just kidding. And I'd be like, Elijah, I need this. I need the Geek Bar. Do you have the Geek Bar? Do you have the Geek Bar? Because at the time I didn't have my own. And of course I was hitting that shit backstage like and I would go out and I would feel okay. But of course, nicotine dries out your throat. Any form of smoking or inhalant that goes through the throat is going to irritate it, but especially nicotine. Holy shit. Like, that is the worst thing you could put in your body. But it just tastes so good. Like, oh. You know where they would have me fucked up? I do. I like a cigarette, but that's purely aesthetic. That's not how I want to get my fix in at all. I need a flavored Geek Bar and a coffee. Could be a black coffee, could be a fucking a latte. Ooh, get me my banana latte. Ooh, get me my banana latte. Or get me my matcha, my banana matcha, and I'm set. Get me my Geek Bar, I'm set. You know where they would lose, like I would just get so lost in it if they made a banana coffee flavored. You've never heard of a banana latte? Well, okay, there's this place. I don't know if they have these like nationwide, but there is a place called It's Boba Time. You can argue like to hell and back about the quality of it. It is not it used to be cheaper, but like with inflation and things in price just going, it's a bit more expensive, but it is still a relatively cheap option for boba. But they have these like this like coffee, they have these coffee menus. They have like this little like coffee selection where it's like they have a vanilla Einspanner, which is like obesity in a cup. They have like this fucking Biscoff Einspanner, which is diabetes in a cup, which I no shade to people who drink that. I myself might drink that like once. But they have, which may be just as unhealthy, but I don't care. It doesn't sound like it. They have something called a banana coffee. What that is it's the coffee, right? But they make like this creamy blended banana that's like, again, it's creamy, and they pour that into your coffee. It is so fucking good. It is disgusting how good that is, because y'all could take my money anytime that you want. Like if they built an It's Boba Time like 5 minutes away from me in car, I would be there every day. I would have no money. It's not very. It's mostly in Cali. Damn. But I'm sure there's other places that do have that, but I don't think they have the one from It's Boba Time. There's this little coffee place in my school. They had a banana latte. It was fine. It's nothing monumental. But It's Boba Time's banana and their banana matcha. Their banana matcha. If you gave me that and a Geek Bar, I would be fine for the next hour. But if they made a Geek Bar in the flavor of a banana coffee or a banana matcha, I might as well kiss my fucking vocal cords goodbye. That shit is so good. And it has to taste exactly like it. Exactly like it. But like, oh my God. My stomach just started grumbling. I really want a banana matcha now. Fuck. It's just so good. It is so good. I have no complaints. Like, if they ever remove that shit from the menu, like that shit has to be a permanent part of the menu, or I will riot. There will be unrest. Okay, outside and inside that It's Boba Time. They're so good. If you take a trip to any state that has an It's Boba Time, do yourself a favor and try it. It is so good. It's so good. Anyway, hi. I love coffee. I love coffee drinks. Being a barista is honestly such a dream job for me. Like, I want to learn how to use an espresso machine. I want this so bad. But a lot of places don't hire you as a barista until you've had experience. Where am I supposed to get that experience? What do you mean you won't hire me without barista experience? Y'all don't want to pay for training? Fuck. It's not like I'm just gonna learn how to make a latte and leave. Like, no, bitch, I'm going to learn and make coffee drinks, and I'm gonna serve them, and I'm gonna do it well. Damn. I just know Tierra Mia is like wiping their ass with my job application right now. And I love Tierra Mia, which, by the way, I think is like, it is the number one place, like, chain I know to get coffee from. Tierra Mia is peak, and I'm pretty sure that's only Cali. Like, Cali, but not all over Cali. Like SoCal and maybe some of Northern California. I don't know. But we have a place called Tierra Mia. So fucking good. Oh, bitch, you scared me. What the fuck? This bitch scared me. What happened? I don't speak sign language. I don't have. What do you want? Your charger. You could have just said that shit without getting it. Oh my God. That was scary. What the fuck? I'm gonna replay that, and I know I flinched bad. She came in. I'm very jumpy. So she cracks open the door, and I'm like, embarrassing. But yeah, Tierra Mia is in the back, using my job application as like toilet paper. Like, but I love their drinks. Oh, their drinks are good. Their horchata latte is super good. By the way, my order there, it's called Tierra Mia. I'm pretty sure only in California. Also pretty affordable, by the way. So when I go with my two sisters, we're a group of 3, right? They get 2 large horchata fraps, and I get like a medium horchata latte with almond milk, okay? Because I don't fuck with dairy unless it's in cheese, okay? I don't like milk. Don't give me that, okay? You spend a total of $19, which is not horrible. Tierra mía. Let me get in this chat. It's in Spanish. Had to get in the chat, and my chair squeaked and it sounded like huh, like the fucking Minecraft thing. Huh. Anyway, but Tierra mía. Great place. So good. They are definitely wiping their ass in the back with my job application. I went and handed that to them in person, and they're like, "Oh, we'll reach out to you." I never got anything back. They don't want me, but I want to work there so bad. Ugh. Fuck. You know what place is also really good for coffee? I might end this stream soon, by the way, because it's been 2 hours. But you know what place is also really good for coffee? Coffee Bean. Coffee Bean. And around like the month of like where Day of the Dead comes in and like Halloween and all these things, and also during like typically like Hispanic Heritage Month, they bring out an horchata latte of their own, which tastes almost like the one from Tierra Mia. I just have a very precise, like my taste buds are very precise to Tierra Mia because I get it so much. But it is more expensive than the Tierra Mia one. So, not worth it. But their drinks are good. Their drinks aren't too bad. And they are constantly having deals. Like if you have the app or if you have like signed up to get emails from them, you have like buy one, get one free, buy a large for the price of a regular, free customization. Like you could spend a good amount there and it won't be too much without going to Starbucks. Because of course, aside from the weird shit that the Starbucks company has going on, which by the way is most coffee companies or companies in general, but Starbucks is a bit more brazen with it. Aside from that, Starbucks drinks are not that good. They're not that good. Like, I'll tell you like this, a caramel frap from Starbucks can never, ever beat a caramel frap from Coffee Bean. That is good. Those are good. Are you a Californian? I am. I feel like I say I'm from California. People, what the fuck? Oh, my piano. Oh, my keyboard. I say I'm from California and people believe me. And so by default, I think everyone is from California until proven Floridian or proven New Yorker. Like, you are Californian until proven elsewhere. But it's weird because like the algorithm on social media works so differently. I have a lot of friends that I've met online, right? And I'm always like, fuck, why is everyone in Florida? Why is everything in fucking why is everything in New York? Why is everyone in Washington? Why is everyone in Texas, Oregon? And then I look at their tweets and it's like, why is everyone in California? And it's like, why is life like this? Why is life like this? Why do I have to fly out to see my friends? And I have flown out to see friends. It's so fun. And they've flown out to my hometown and we hung out. Oh my god. Do you know how fun it is to meet people online and they don't fucking murder you and you actually can catch a vibe? That is such a like a fun feeling. Like, oh man. Oh, that's what's up, you Loki putting on to sauce. I just moved to California like 2 or 3 years ago. Hit those places up. Oh my god. California, I like it, but then I'll have moments where I don't like it. But I honestly don't want to move anywhere else. Like, I'm good here. I'm not going anywhere. Unless it's New York, maybe. No, not even. Not even. New York might be better than California, but I feel like I felt that way because of just like and I was in the city. Realistically, if I moved to New York, I would not live in the city where I was like being a tourist at, you know. But California, those birds outside, you know. And like there's not birds anywhere else. I'm kind of on the edge with California only because I have no one here, so that plays a big part. There are so many places to meet people. There are so many places to meet people. I always encourage people to just talk to others in California and things like that. But no, I miss my friends. I miss my friends so bad. I met up with one of my friends and she's from Philly. Philly? Yeah, I'm pretty sure Philly. Or am I fake and don't know? Then my other friend, she's from Oregon, and they both came to California to, hang out with some friends, and I was one of those friends. And so it was just we had a key, it was so fun. It was just like it was such a moment for me. Like I love that. And I can't wait to get a job so I can go travel to their hometowns. Cause fuck, I want to see what Oregon's all about. I want to see what Oregon is all about. I want to see Philly. I love that so much. So much. It is so fun, like to travel and to link up with different people. I mean, it's not fun, when you meet up with bad people, but um, that hasn't happened, and I don't think it will happen because most of my mutuals are a vibe and have not given me any red flags, which I know how to look out for now. I remember I told a Domino's delivery you too after they said enjoy. Good thing they laughed with me though. I feel like that's the most reaction you would like. That's the only reaction. Just laugh, or they'll also be awkward because not because of you, but because that's how they are as a person, and they'll say thank you. I remember one time I told a pizza delivery driver good night, and my cousin thought it was the funniest shit ever. Mind you, it was night. What did they say? Good night or goodbye? I said thank you, good night or goodbye, and my cousin laughed her ass off. I was like, what? It's knock on wood, but I have not had specifically the you too moment where it's like, oh, enjoy your meal, you too. I've not had that moment, and I'm shocked that I haven't, because I feel like if anyone's gonna have that moment, it should be me. Ugh. Yeah. Fuck, I need to get a job. I really do need to get a job. They need to start calling me back. I will go again and harass someone. Like I don't know why they think I won't, but I will. Because I need a job. I want to travel again. I want to go to London again. Oh my god, London was so fun. And that was a school trip. I can only imagine how much more fun London would be, like by myself. Ooh, I gotta go to Japan. Fuck. You see what being broke and unemployed gets you? You don't get, girl, fuck you. You don't get to go nowhere. But yeah, no, I need a job. I need a job. Or I just need to upload some slop that really hits and puts that money in my account, I need that. But yeah, just, oh God, it would be so fun to just travel. I want to go to Japan. I want to go to Japan so bad. Oh my God. They recently had like a Danganronpa pop-up in Osaka, and it's like, where are the Danganronpa pop-ups here? Why the fuck is there a Hazbin Hotel pop-up at an anime store? Bitch, you don't even go here. You're not anime. You're Hazbin Hotel. Shit pissed me off so fucking bad. I was like, fuck. And then they had like little to no Chainsaw Man things. And it's like, I didn't just finish reading the fucking manga for me not to be able to spend my money here. Though granted, I have a Reze figure, and then I have an Angel Devil figure up here. They are so cute and I love them so much. And then I have my Kyoko one. See, two things that I'm not being catered to with. Like, when that 2x2 comes out, Hot Topic better come back with their Danganronpa shirt so I can actually buy one. Because it's pissing me off. It is pissing me off that I am not able to buy this merch anywhere. And I figured that Chainsaw Man, like that just ended. Y'all should be like, these stores should be raining, dripping in Chainsaw Man merch. Why is there literal crumbs of Chainsaw Man merch anywhere? What's that about? Need One Piece merch. Has One Piece ended? Fuck! Oh my god! I wish I had watched One Piece like when it had fewer episodes than it does now. Because I can't. Most I can do is 3 seasons and I'm out. So I finished. Let me run down the anime I have watched. Death Note, first and foremost. Death Note. Devilman Crybaby. Chainsaw Man. I don't really watch anime. I'm watching Jujutsu Kaisen, but I am so slow with it. I'm so slow with it. I don't wanna. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. And I'm in a fandom for it. So it's like she doesn't even go here. But does Agretsuko count as an anime? Because it is a Japanese animated thing. I don't know if that counts. I didn't even finish that one. I finished the first 2 seasons, I believe. Or are there only 2 seasons? No, yeah. I don't really watch anime. I tried to watch Naruto, by the way, and y'all are gonna hate me, but I tried to watch Naruto. I couldn't make it past episode 5. That's so whack. I was not intrigued, like, at all. I tried to watch JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, which I am honestly willing to give it like another try. Also couldn't get through it. I don't know what's wrong with me. Like, what's up? What's up? What's up? I know JoJo sounds like a really good anime. I just couldn't get through it. I think I watched like half an episode of the Seven Deadly Sins, by the way. Oh my god, I did not want to watch anything more. Like, I didn't want to stop watching anything more in my life, and that's why I couldn't get through it. And maybe that's peak, but I couldn't do it. I could not do it. Oh my god, like, I really tried to be in my anime bag. I'm not a weeb, and that makes me sad because I'm in a lot of spaces where a lot of the things that people watch are like anime, and it's like I'm not built like that, guys. For some reason though, I did really enjoy Death Note, and I want to rewatch Death Note. I just haven't had like the energy to do, not energy, but like, oh, I don't want to watch no fucking slice of life. Oh my god. What is considered a slice of life anime? I don't think this counts as slice of life, but I just got like a fucking war flashback right now. Like, I think my brain actually blocked out the fact that I watched this because of how distraught I was by it. I need you guys to guess what it was. What anime could I possibly be talking about? I don't know if it's slice of life. Death Girl? No. Was she deaf? No, she wasn't deaf. She wasn't deaf. I need you guys to guess. It was sad. Oh my god, it was so sad. It was so sad that I was in denial about the bitch dying. I was like, no, she didn't actually die. No. Like, there's gonna be like a part 2 to this, right? A Silent Voice. No, but I want to watch it now. I've only heard good things, and I was a bit like turned off by it for some reason. But like, I need to watch A Silent Voice. Oh my god. And it's like, it's a full show. like episodes. And I'm pretty sure Silent Voice is a movie, right? I'm gonna tell y'all. It was Your Lie in April. When that bitch died, I was in tears. I was distraught. I was like, nah, y'all lying to me. Y'all are lying to me. Oh, my fault. Then I low-key spoiled. But then again, it's been out for over a decade. No. No, I said no. That shit hurt so bad. I was like, why the fuck did I watch this? I am heartbroken. Holy shit. Where am I from? I'm from California. But yeah, Your Lie in April devastated me. I don't remember entirely what happens, but I remember I'm like my brain blocked that out. Like I feel like I could watch it and be shocked by everything that happens minus that bitch dying. Which I'm pretty sure is like the most shocking thing that happened. Like it was bad. It was so bad. I was crying. I had to make edits of that to cope. I made a slow dancing in the dark edit for it. It was sad. I was sad. I was in middle school when I first watched Your Lie in April. Not middle school. Wait, what? Was I in middle school? Because Slow Dancing in the Dark came out when I was in. No, I watched it freshman year of high school. Oh my god. This is like connecting a lot of dots right now. It'd be the funniest experience of your life and the most mentally destroying thing you've ever seen. Chainsaw Man was both. I started off Chainsaw Man like with the anime form, and I've never actually sat down in front of an anime and actually laughed at it until I watched Chainsaw Man. I think Chainsaw Man is really funny, but that shit hurt so fucking bad. Like, I was distraught reading it. Nothing in what I watched, because all of it hasn't been animated, like made me cry. But I was reading it. I was always like someone, I haven't cried at a book ever since I was in middle school and I read The Fault in Our Stars. That shit made me sob, but I got over it. Chainsaw Man, okay? I knew what was gonna happen because I got a lot of it spoiled for me because, that's just the price you pay when you get into things hella late. You see it spoiled. But everything that I got spoiled left me so distraught. I was sobbing. Hold on, y'all. Okay. I want y'all to see here. We're done. Have you seen Attack on Titan? I have not. I don't know why I haven't gotten into Attack on Titan yet. I say yet, like I'm gonna give it a try, but I really need to be convinced to get into anime. I don't know. And no, to get into anything, really, I need convincing. Like I need not pressure. I need a good argument as to why, or I need to see something to convince me. And Attack on Titan is like, I feel like that shit's been around since I was in like in first grade. I had a friend in the first grade who would tell me that she was watching Attack on Titan. I miss that friend so much. We would talk about Five Nights at Freddy's all day long. It's a good protagonist. Literally, I hate people who like they just fucking like they do not understand Denji the way that I understand Denji. Because a lot of what Denji goes through, I can relate to, bro. I understand Denji. And a lot of people are like, well, because he's a dude, it might be harder to understand. No, I understand Denji. And also a lot of the characters that like that harm Denji in a way have gone exactly through what Denji, went through. Like Makima is not the way that she is just to be evil. It is explicitly stated at the end of part 1 why Makima is the way that she is. With Reze, it is also explained exactly why Reze is the way that she is. So I understand. I think it's the problems that he has, the flaws that Denji's character has that makes him such a good protagonist. Genuinely. And yeah, I think Attack on Titan has been around that long. FNAF is so good. Yes, it's still good. I just don't like what they've been doing recently with the new games. They feel kind of passionless, and it makes me feel bad to say that, but it's the truth. And then again, these games aren't really for me anymore, but I mean, Super Mario 64 is also not for me really, but I still want to play. I still like to play it. It's a kid's game, but like I still like to like. That doesn't mean just because I don't think it's good doesn't mean that like it's like, well, it's not even for you anyway. Like, okay, but I can still find aspects of it that are enjoyable. The fuck? Anyway, I need you guys to hear this shit I went through reading this fuck ass manga. Like, did I delete it? Hold on. Hold on. Where the fuck is it? So here's recording number 1. Can y'all read that? One could say I was a bit distraught. Hold on.
Fuck that bitch Makima, bro. Fuck you, Makima, bitch. Hell is truly not hot enough for this bitch. Like, this bitch ain't even fine to the point where I can forgive this shit. Like, there's characters where it's like, you suck, but you're fine. I can forgive it. Makima is, unfortunately, like, she's fine, but, like, I can't. Like, I hope, like, this bitch gotta hit the floor soon. Please. Get rid of her, please. I can't. I need this bitch gone. And then she's at the cafe, guys. Yes.
So you could say I was quite upset with what had happened. This was specifically after, actually, I think this was after what happens with the Gun Devil. That's all I will say. This one.
I'm gonna sit here and act like I wasn't already getting TikTok spoilers or anything. Ooh. Oh, I didn't like that. That was really sad. Guys, that was really sad. Wait. Okay, we need to find Fujimoto and we need to get him to like put out a statement that canonically did not happen. What the fuck? That bitch was, oh my god, bitch, that was it. Oh my god, she was there for like not even like, was it like 10 chapters? That bitch was out there for that?
Yeah. So that clearly all of that happened after the Reze arc. No. I was distraught. And I knew what was gonna happen. The same thing, I haven't cried that much since I watched Death Note and L died. I knew L was gonna die because I tried to look up fan art for L Death Note, and then it said death right next to it in the Google search. So I knew he was gonna die, but I kind of tried to gaslight myself and be like, he's not gonna die. They're tripping, right? He dies. And I sob. I was so sad. I think the reason people like Chainsaw Man is because it gives you a reason why they are villains. It's to make you guess through mysterious flashbacks, Yeah. And I think a lot of it is just seeing this this is a child. Denji is a child. Navigate through these horrible things that are happening to him. And these things that have happened to him, are things that these people who ended up evil, that they also went through those things. Like Makima very much is someone who didn't experience a nurturing upbringing. Hence why she became, who she became. That's why she is the way that she is. She never experienced connections like that. Denji got to do that, but a lot of it was just, being the means to an end, really. Like and seeing him have to like rise above that. And, it's a lot of it, obviously, the whole thing with devils, that part's not realistic. It is seeing how growing up not being nurtured or being guided in any way severely affects your development. That part is very relatable to other people. People who are much older than you and should be offering you guidance, taking advantage of you. That is relatable to some people. That is a very common theme in this story. That is why I really enjoyed this story, because a lot of the things that happen, like the problems that he faces, are problems that a lot of people here also face. And especially when they introduced Asa, much of myself I saw within Asa. Like, I love her so much. Oh my God. Like, I get so sad when I think about her. Oh my God. Pobrecita. I feel so bad for her. Oh my God. Oh my God. Of course, I feel bad for Denji. But when it comes to the suffering a protagonist goes through, I always think of that like when I'm playing a game or reading a story, I kind of put myself in the protagonist's shoes in a way. So it's like, I can handle that, but seeing other characters that do not deserve that shit just go through horrible shit, I don't like that. I don't like that. I don't like that. I don't. And what Asa goes through, of course, it's nothing worse than what Denji goes through, but it still sucks because she was literally a victim of circumstance. Like, she did not ask for any of that to happen. She didn't do anything for that to happen. And neither did Denji, by the way. But he's the protag. This is some girl who was also introduced as a somewhat like kind of a protag. She was kind of a protag, and then she wasn't, but then she wasn't, and then now she's not. It's weird, but fuck, man. Oh my God, I got so sad. Like, when that whole thing with is this a spoiler? When Denji's trying to look for Nayura, and he gets enticed by the idea of going to a brothel, and a lot of people are like, Gunnar, and it's like, y'all don't get him like I get him. Y'all don't understand him like I do. He is literally like a hormonal and emotionally like a discombobulated child. Of course, his priorities are not in order, and he is aware of that, and he resents that he's like that. Like, they don't get him like I do. They don't get him like I do, and it sucks so bad. It's so frustrating to see people completely like mischaracterize this character. Y'all don't understand it, because a lot of these people are like these fucking surface level ass motherfuckers, unless they're going through some fucking complex shit. It's people who lack empathy. And yes, these are fictional characters. They don't exist. But I find that the way that you approach the character, like the feelings and the experiences of a character, kind of is how you deal with people in your life, or people that are going through some shit. Like, fuck, like, nothing is black and white. There are complex reasons for Denji's Gunnar behavior, and nobody wants to talk about that. Oh no, but I enjoyed so much. I enjoyed Chainsaw Man. I don't care about the ending. The ending, I liked it. I liked it, and no one can take that from me. Man, I like anime like that. Like that's anime that I can sit through and watch. You think you believe the protagonist will be fine because you know? Yeah. Even though there have been instances where the protagonist does die. And actually, like more so than not, I kind of am this is the kind of media that I consume. The protagonist, I'm so used to the protagonist of a show or a movie not getting what they want and even sinking to a lower level or even dying. Like when I watched Breaking Bad, something about that I just knew, and I hadn't gotten much of the show spoiled. I knew Walter White is going to die. He has to die. Not just because he's evil, but like to make sense of the story, he has to die. So when I approached Chainsaw Man, I felt like it wouldn't be ridiculous if they killed Denji, but they didn't. They didn't. They went a completely different route with that, and I'm not upset about that. I'm actually like I think I would have been upset if he died, but I was starting to fear that if Denji didn't die, Asa was gonna die. So I was scared. I was like, come like what? This was like 2 or 3 Tuesdays ago. I was like, please. Like for example, with Succession, I knew that Kendall wasn't going to be the CEO. I knew he wasn't going to get that. I knew for a fact, as qualified as he was, and he is qualified for that. Before anyone says otherwise, unless y'all haven't watched that shit, I knew he wasn't gonna get it, and I wanted him to so badly, but somewhere deep down, I knew this isn't gonna happen for you at all. And that's exactly what happened. So, hi. Yeah. What is an example of a slice of life anime? Like, did we answer the question? Does Your Lie in April count as slice of life when the fucking depressing ass ending comes in? Like, what is a? Let me look that up. What is? And then after that, I might have to go because I do have to go because been on here too damn long. I think it is, man. Okay, let's see. Oh my god, I completely forgot that I tried to watch this. I don't know why it's showing up here, and you guys could let me know if this does count as a slice of life, but Psyche-K, I tried to watch it, did not think of it as interesting. Oh, by the way, I also tried to watch My Hero Academia, did not get through it. My bad. My fault. Anyway, I know that's not slice of life, but like I just want to cover what I have watched or tried to watch. Yeah, that's a slice of life. Oh my god, all of these just look boring. I'm sorry, like they look really boring. I hate that I just am not entertained. I wanted to watch that Comey Can't Communicate. There's just a certain type of rancidness to it, and I'm a bit distraught by it. So I'm not watching that. I'm not fucking with that. Fuck. Nothing looks familiar here. Why is Food Wars coming up as one? Your Lie in April right after. Fuck that. I'm going on Reddit. I have not watched any of these that are listed. You've seen Gintama? No, I've not heard of that. God, I am not a fan of slice of life. Like if I'm gonna watch an anime, it would not be, slice of life. You know what anime I think I should watch though? I feel like I might enjoy it. I feel like I might really enjoy Tokyo Ghoul. Bleach. Also heard of it, did not watch. Let's see. Oh yeah, like I loved Chainsaw Man, so I might just give it a try. You just remember you do makeup and pigtails on a boy, like prank ASMR. We shall see. There's not much horror anime that's not like a movie. And I'm looking for like a series. They kind of count Chainsaw Man as, as a horror. But, ghost stories. Huh. Wasn't that the one with the weird dub? Like everything that I'm seeing here it's all just, movies. Movies that I'm pretty sure I've seen. Like I know for a fact I've watched Perfect Blue. Fuck, an anime like Perfect Blue would be fucking great. Like I need it to be as fucked up. Let's see. Let's see. Ultimately, though, people are saying that Chainsaw Man is more of a dark fantasy anime, if anything. Fuck. And it's always shit that I've just been very hesitant on watching in the first place. So, for example, like Berserk, is that just a manga or also an anime? Because I don't want to get into that. There are some things that for my own mental sake I cannot get into just based off of what I've heard. I can't do that. Same with Goodnight Pun Pun, Goodnight Pun Pun, which isn't an anime, but it's a manga or something. Not getting into that. I am not touching. I would not touch that shit with a 10-foot pole. I refuse. There's no way. But yeah, that one and Berserk I can't touch. Let's see. Goblin Slayer I've heard of, but something very rancid about it, like the fandom. That's another thing. I'm kind of pathetic in that way. I'm kind of pathetic in that way. Like if the fandom sucks, I don't really want to get into it. Usually when I get into things, the fandom is not so bad. And then once I'm in it, the fandom starts to decay. So, it's hard to get into a lot of these things. Not that I heard that Goblin Slayer has much of a fandom, but like just the people who enjoy it, it's like, why? Anyway, Attack on Titan keeps coming up. Good Lord. I completely forgot that I also invested much time into Evangelion. Why did I name that? I gotta give that one a rewatch. Oh, I gotta give that one a rewatch. Because I was younger when I watched it, and it's like a lot of themes didn't stick, but I feel I'm a lot more media literate now. No, I'm not. I might be just as stupid. There's a lot of shit that I watch, not just anime, but like shows and movies in general that I watched when I was younger, that it's like I think I would have understood it and appreciated it a lot more if I watched it now. But the thing is, a lot of it I don't want to approach ever again. Like you could not pay me to rewatch BoJack Horseman. You could not pay me to rewatch Mr. Robot. You couldn't. You could not do that. Oh my god. You could also not pay me to rewatch Succession. But I watched that and I understood it. You know, I had the mindset to understand that a bit more. You know, let's see. They keep saying Berserk. That shit's probably so peak. Like, let's see. Devilman Crybaby. You also cannot repay me to rewatch that one. You cannot pay me to rewatch it. I cannot. I refuse to rewatch it. It's only 10 episodes, and every episode left me feeling so gutted, bro. Nah, I'm okay. Could I watch Death Note again? Yeah, I want to watch Death Note again. Hunter x Hunter. I've never watched it. I don't know that I want to. I don't know that I want to. Oh no, Devilman Crybaby was fucked up. Like that was sad. That was bleak. That was such a bleak ending to. I was like, nah, no, I can't. I wasn't even like crying by the end of it though. Like I was just blank, disappointed. But it was a good. I'm not ignoring you, bruh. Not ignoring. I said I'll think about it for sure. Top tier. If you don't like an anime, you don't. I haven't even heard of that one, but I'm gonna look it up. I'm gonna look it up and I'm gonna give it a try. And if you're saying that if I don't like this, then I definitely won't like Slice of Life, then you might be right. For some reason though, Your Lie in April was like the only exception, I guess. Like, oh god. Let's see. Okay, nothing else. What the fuck? Let's see more Rex. I feel like I've also seen clips of it. Huh. Nah. They keep saying Berserk. Oh my god. Fuck, I might just have to go against my own rules here and just watch Berserk. If I want to see peak. If I want to see peak, I gotta see what it's about. Like nothing, nada. Like y'all don't have anything else. Like, ugh. Let's see. Ta madre. Oh no, I knew it. That's a fetish. That's a fetish, isn't it? That's a fetish, right? Okay. Serial Experiments Lane. I've tried to watch, did not finish. I was low-key LARPing that when I was younger. But yeah, did not finish. Oh. Brother, this is not that type of ASMR channel. This is not that type of ASMR channel, and this is barely ASMR. Let's see. Give you stay away from Death Note's creator family. I would love you. I don't need love. Soul Eater. Also heard that was good. Okay, see, that one is familiar. Stay away from Death Note. Okay, yeah. Damn, how do you fall off from Death Note? Damn. Let's see. I completely forgot that I watched like a few episodes of Blood Sea. Was that just like, I don't remember too well. Was that just the way that it was to be the way that it, for the sake of being the way that it was? Or like, is there substance to the violence in that show? I don't mind violence, by the way. Like, I don't care. I don't care. Like blood and gore, I don't mind. But was it just like that to just be like that? I don't remember. Like, I know it was like monsters and shit, but I don't. Might actually watch the full thing, because the only reason I was watching it is because someone else in my household was watching it. So I would sit there and just be like, type shit. You know? It's an entry-level anime. Death Note. Death Note is not an anime that I've ever heard anyone say anything bad about. Like, or say like, oh, I got bored of it. And it's like, no, you don't get bored of Death Note, though. You don't. Like, it's so good. For so many reasons, it's so good. And it doesn't do too much on the, well, yes, on the death. Yeah, sure. But like on the violence, doesn't do too much. It has funny moments. It has funny moments, which I think is really good for anything to have. Thank you. I would not say though that Naruto is like a good entry level anime, considering how many episodes there are, and not just because of the fact that I didn't enjoy it. Death Note is like what, 2 seasons? It's like 2, and it's fine. It's fine. Anyway, I'm gonna hop off this now. This was a very fun live. Maybe I'll go live tomorrow. Who knows? Because I do have another class tomorrow. But again, who knows? Anyway, bye everyone.